International releasing some pleasing results today as tourism begins to get back on its feet.
Yep, you're quite right, Bradian. Good afternoon. Casino, gaming and hotel group Sun International cashing in on a rise in hotel stayovers and gambling. After-tax profit more than doubling year-on-year to 765 million in its 222 annual results. Anthony Leeming is the Sun International CEO. He joins us now. Anthony, thanks indeed for your time. So the 2022 calendar year was, I think, the first one that was largely unaffected by the pandemic and trading restrictions. No doubt that went a long way with your results.
Absolutely. I think the start of the year wasn't quite as good because we had the Omicron variant and all the cancellations from overseas with our borders being closed. The restrictions on locals were certainly lifted, and we immediately noticed the pickup in January in particular, and that lasted probably through the year. That's on the casino side. On the hotel side, it picked up as the year went. We had more and more conferencing, more and more local leisure, and then the international market certainly came back quite strongly towards the end of the year. So I think all in all, a very, very good year for us. Our online business also took off and has shown some great numbers.
Yeah. I mean, I see your gambling or gaming, which generates about 80% of income, improving 35%. How did that happen? I mean, presumably the tight economy didn't affect that segment of your business, did it?
Well, I think, look, last year was still, or 2021 was still impacted by COVID. So a lot of the growth was still recovery back to pre-pandemic levels. Having said that, our Sun LPM business showed a lot of growth, not just in terms of, in top line inflation numbers, but it bounced back a lot harder, a lot better than the casinos. And then, yes, the casinos last year certainly came back into their fall. Online business, as I mentioned, was a strong growth with the new products being licensed by the Western Cape Gaming Board, slot type product as well as live games. So really a great business there.
And then, I mean, I suppose it's a question I'd feel to any CEO, Anthony. I mean, power cuts. They not only disrupt traveling behavior, but they do also eat into your costs, don't they? I mean, how was that in terms of a dent into your results? Did power cuts really weigh in?
Look, last year, I think we spent about 68 million on diesel. Net cost after some electricity savings of about 54 million. So not as bad. But when we look forward, we're probably looking at about 12 to 40 million rand a month on diesel with about approximate 20% savings. So it is an impact. We are have a look at it and saying, what can we do? And I think at the end of the day, like most corporates, we're going to have to invest a bit. But the good upside is that these investments should generate good returns. So we're looking at a combination of wheeling agreements as well as on-site solar, as well as storage, because burning diesel for generators is very expensive. So even storage now has become a very viable option.
Now, I mean, here's another sort of spanner in the works that you get with our tourism in South Africa, and you see it increasingly, unfortunately, and that's the issue of safety of tourists, Anthony. How affected are you by this? And what's your take with the levels of crime, particularly attached to tourism in the country at the moment?
Look, international tourism, our main contributors in international tourism is really the Table Bay and obviously a little bit at the Palace. Yeah. But certainly the Table Bay has had a remarkable season with the tourists coming back quite strongly at the end of the year. And certainly this year has also started very well. So, at the top end, I guess they still come in, they stay in upmarket hotels and are pretty well protected. But it definitely, damages the country's reputation and is not good for the ongoing tourism.
Just taking a look at 2023, like we said, people are back in their cars again, going to hotel groups and visiting the beaches and things. What's your forecast looking like for 2023?
Look, we started very strongly, especially on the hotels and resorts sector. Sun City's really been performing very well. We put a lot of effort in there during COVID, and certainly it's turned around. Obviously, the Palace has been refurbed, and we've seen very good uptake, as well as corporates conferencing, local leisure, and the internationals coming back. On the casino side, it's very resilient. It really has held up quite nicely so far this year, as well as our LPM business. The real growth for us, though, is in this online business, with Sunbet growing strongly, and we are looking to launch into Africa, into certain countries in Africa in the Q2 of this year.